What is up, Impact Heroes? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Rick Ornelas. Thank you for spending some time with us today because we know time's a valuable resource and we're going to make it worth your while. I appreciate each and every one of you, not just for listening, but for who you are. I know you're sparking change to make the world a better place every day, and I am humbled and grateful for your efforts. It takes all of us doing our part to spread positive change, and that's what this show is all about. Motivating you with stories of struggle, courage, and hope to empower you to make a difference in your life and the lives of others.
What is the Igniting Hope Summit? It's a celebration of surviving life's toughest moments, the moments that tried to break us forever and didn't. We survived. Now we're going to challenge you to take it a step further. Our speakers and presenters will push you outside of your comfort zone and teach you how to find the bigger purpose to that pain. You will leave feeling transformed and empowered to take on challenges and dreams that you never thought possible.
Welcome back, Impact Heroes. I'm excited to be here for another episode where I will share some of the lessons I have learned along my journey. Part of sharing is because our stories connect us all, and also because I feel it is my duty to elaborate on what has helped me in the hopes that it can help one of you. So today we're going to discuss the power of connections. Now, I've always been a fan of motivational guru Jim Rohn. I used to listen to his tapes and CDs way back when. Yes, tapes, you heard me correctly. When I was, just new in my career, and I actually got to hear him speak live at this big event. I remember back in the early 90s. Now, one of his most famous quotes is, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Now, I didn't pay much attention to this when I was younger, but now I see the importance of this each and every day, because relationships and connections are a huge aspect of life. We're constantly meeting new people, we make new connections, we build and we cultivate those relationships with others. And, those are the foundation of, a lot of what we do on a regular basis. So why are connections important today? Well, it goes back to another old saying, it's not what you know, but who you know. And that is true now more than ever before, because the reality is that who and how you connect with others has always been an important component of life, but it's amplified in the times of today due to our shrinking world with global accessibility to information, to jobs, and to an increasing number of relationships in our lives. It's no longer just the people that live in your neighborhood or the people that you work with. Now it's your friends on social media, your connections on LinkedIn, the people in the organizations that you're affiliated with, and the groups that you're a part of. And this overconnectedness makes the competition for our attention far greater than it was just a few short years ago. So we have to learn to manage our attention and therefore manage our connections, because our connections will either help or hurt us. Now, our relationships and these connections with others can fall into 3 basic categories: our limited connections, expanded connections, and disconnections. And here's what I mean by that, because you don't want to have everyone fall into the same bucket. The people that you work with are not the same as those that you know from the church or that you see at the gym. And the even bigger variable to consider is how these connections can limit or expand your success. Because we've all been in relationships before where someone has been a drain on us. The person in this relationship, they're just a drain on us. They seem to take all our energy. They even suck the life from us when we're around them. And that's why it's important to understand which bucket someone falls into so you can interact with them accordingly. So let's break down the 3 types, and I'll give you a definition for each and some tips to understand the relationship and guidance around growth or limitations. Let's start with limited connections. So we all have friends, coworkers, neighbors that want to take far more of our time than we want to give. They say they need a minute, and then they go ahead and take 15. Now, usually this is for their benefit and not for ours. Now these relationships can be much more valuable and enriching if we learn to place limits on them in advance. So how can you identify if someone is a limited connection? Well, in this case, after a short period of time, you've lost interest in the conversation when you're around them. If you're at a party, for example, you start looking around for others to engage, or you start turning your body away. And you find that they talk more about themselves than they do about you. They're not interested in learning about you and asking questions. They just want to share about you. And this may be someone that, just kind of they give off that vibe of that energy is just not in alignment with your own. So how can you limit these associations, these connections? You want to determine the external variables. For example, is it a coworker that you see every day versus a friend that texts you when they need someone? Whereas the coworker, you're kind of stuck with them, seeing them every day. And then you want to seek to understand the value of the relationship in your life. So if it's a necessary relationship, then you can place limits on the engagement. For example, the annoying coworker that approaches your desk all the time. From the beginning, you can state, hey, Dwight, I'd love to chat, but I'm up against a deadline. So how about you send me an email with your question and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And then politely, you turn back to your work. Now, by placing limits like this, you define boundaries for the relationship that you can both adhere to moving forward. And the more you stick to them, the more the other party will learn the boundaries and respect them accordingly. Now, it may not be easy in some situations, like I said, in work, but the key is to place those boundaries and then stick to them and not deviate from them, because what you tolerate becomes acceptable, and you don't want to tolerate that person always interrupting you at your desk. So another one would be disconnections. Now, these are going to be a little worse than those limited connections. These are going to be those negative influences that you must completely eliminate from your life, because frankly, they're just going to bring you down. They don't support your dreams and aspirations in any way, and they can take control of your life in the wrong way. So how are you going to limit these people? Well, again, determine those external variables. If it is someone like a coworker that you're stuck with every day, or let's say it's a family member, right? Maybe it's a cousin that's always bringing you down. Determine how big is this negative influence. Do they typically shoot down your ideas or tell you that you're not going to reach your goals? If you were to propose something like, say, hey, I'm thinking of, starting to eat healthy and working out, are they going to say something as straightforward as, oh, you're never going to lose weight. You've been this way for years. They may even say something less obvious like, oh, you seem very happy the way you are. Why would you want to change? That's going to be difficult. Or just, behaviorally, they may influence your behavior in a negative way that you don't want to be a part of your life. Like, hey, let's go for appetizers and drinks after work. You don't need to work out today. Now, that peer pressure can be a difficult thing, and that may lead you to agree to that association. And then you don't feel good about yourself. You didn't go to the gym. You ate those, greasy appetizers and had more drinks than you should, and you feel terrible the next day. So, how can you identify if there's someone that you would be, good to disconnect from? Their behaviors are going to give it away every time. They're going to be people that complain, they engage in detrimental activity, they sabotage your goals and dreams. And a big way to determine is how they make you feel when you're around them. When you're around them, do you feel upset, anxious, stressed, or even depressed as a result of interacting with these individuals? Those are the ones that hey, you're going to want to disassociate, disconnect as much as you can. And now how can you limit? Well, if it's someone you can easily eliminate, then cut the cord and be done. Plain and simple, period. Just, end the relationship. Stop responding to their text messages, stop answering the calls, just end the relationship. And you can simply share in a nice way that you're moving on a different path. If it's someone that you care about, then you can tell them that you've made a commitment to yourself and you're sticking to it no matter what. And you let them know that this is about you and it's not about them. That's a big one, because they may tend to get emotional and think that it's about them and want to get in some kind of argument or drama. And just share that, look, you've changed and this is what you're about now. And if they care for you and want to support you, then they can do so by giving you the space that you need to spread your wings. Now, I know it's not always easy, but the more you can disconnect from these individuals that are bringing you down, the better you are going to be in life. Now, on to our third one. Now, this is the winning one. These are expanded connections. So these are those individuals that are going to bring out the best in you. They're going to inspire you to grow and challenge you when necessary. They can be found at work, in a peer circle, at church, an online community. I mean, in lots of places you can find these kind of expanded connections, but in all cases, they bring value to those around them. And, you know, when you're around these people, the way you can identify who should be an expanded connection is because you have a genuine desire to be around these people. Even if it is someone online, you want to, talk to them more, you want to interact with them more, you want to engage with them more. They tend to bring out the best in you by challenging your thoughts, your actions, and your goals. They're not yes people. They're not just going to agree with everything you say, but they're going to challenge you to look better. So what are some traits that these people might have? These people are going to exude success. You see that they set goals and they accomplish them. They have consistent, quote unquote, good habits, such as working out or clean eating or volunteering or, spending time with their family, being present with individuals that they care about. Like those are some, telltale signs. They make the smart choices when they're given the option of something to improve themselves or something to waste time. During a good example would be during the pandemic. These are the people that took on new challenges and new opportunities and made something from it rather than, sitting around, burning 10 hours binge watching the show. Right. So if these people are out there, how can you connect with them? Well, a secret to this is to seek to help and serve them first. Don't go in with a desire or expectations of getting something for yourself. You want to add value to them. And that is literally one of the secrets is add as much value to their lives, help them, seek to lift them up, and you're going to win in the end, because you're going to learn from them. You're going to increase the likelihood of them supporting you in return. So look for ways to support them. Ask for their advice in an area that they're knowledgeable about. You may say something like, hey, I appreciated your comments in that meeting. I would love to learn more about your thoughts. Can I take you to lunch? If it's someone that is maybe a acquaintance from work or, a new coworker that you're like, hey, this person's really on top of it. You can also support them from afar if there's someone that you follow on social media. If there's someone that you follow on social media, whatever the platform, you can support them. You can show that you can engage with the comments on what they share and really be respectful and supportive. And that's a good way to build that relationship and develop that relationship. And then, if there's someone that you want to, optimize that relationship, then, once you've determined who they are, then, focus on deepening the relationship. So continue to deepen it in different ways, continue to support them, and you can't go wrong. Okay. In all situations, if you want to optimize them, that is the secret, is support, help them and support them in all ways you can. If you want to minimize the relationship, again, you're going to want to analyze the amount of time that you're spending with that individual, determine what role they play in your life, what distance you can place or not place based on this certain situation. And then, decide if you have to have a difficult conversation with them to let them, outline your new priorities and let them know where you are moving to in life. But either way, always think about the effects of others on your life and success. And think about, who are the 5 people, going back to Jim's quote from the beginning, who are the 5 people that you're spending the most time with? Who are the 5 people that are influencing your life the most? And surround yourself with those who are going to elevate you and push you to be better. Now, there are various communities that I am a part of for that reason alone. And I know for a lot of you, you have limitations based on geography or other variables where, there aren't people like this around you and you want to be part of communities like this. So I've partnered with my good friend, gratitude and mindset expert and international bestselling author, Julie Bloom, to create the Level Up membership community. And that launches September 1st. So we know that a lot of you out there in our communities are working on improving yourselves in other areas of your lives, like relationships and business and career. And many people struggle finding the answers and don't know where to turn, so they end up going it alone. Well, we want to support you. We want to give you the tools that you need to level up in all aspects of your life. And we want to help you find more of those expanded associations that you've been looking for, or that you should be looking for. Because the more you upgrade your life, the more you need to surround yourself with people who will support and help you grow. So in this Level Up membership community, we're going to help you navigate obstacles seamlessly to achieve your goals and dreams. We're going to exchange ideas to improve your game and the game of others. We're going to let you discover how to stop playing small so you can become the best version of yourself. We're going to help you understand and face the fears that are holding you back. And we're going to help you step outside that comfort zone and embrace the changes needed to grow. It's going to be a unique community with an awesome support system. We'll have bi-weekly calls. We'll have a private chat. We'll have influential guest speakers coming in to share that you can make expanded connections with and genuine connections with them. You'll be able to interact with others in the community, and you'll have a private Facebook group. I mean, all sorts of things. Julie and I are taking our combined, nearly 40 years of coaching experience and sharing it with you. So you can learn more at levelupchallenge.net. It'll be in the show notes. Because as you've heard me say before, it's our stories that connect us all. And we know you all have great stories out there. We know that there are tons of connections with people in the community that can be expanded and developed, and we want to help you with that Level Up membership community. So as always, thank you for taking the time to let me share my heart with all of you today. Thank you for learning about the different connections in our life and the power of connections. And I look forward to seeing you all next time on the iSpark Change podcast.
Remember, Impact Heroes, every positive action can be a spark moment that has a ripple effect that spreads far beyond the initial act. So go out there and spark change. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this episode, then please smash that 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify and leave a review. We value your comments and we want to hear from you in the community. Thank you for listening. God bless you, and we'll see you next week on the iSpark Change podcast.